What role do political parties play in competition and contestation? Which are the major national and regional parties in India? What is meant by political party? Explain the meaning of political party. A political party is a group of people come together to contest elections to hold power in the government. What is an important function of a political party in India? To contest elections. Who take direct part in the elections? Political parties. What are the main components of a political party? ANS. The leaders, the active members, and the followers are three components of a political party. 1A5 Quetzales. What is a ruling party? ANS political party that runs the government. Analyze the three components of a political party. Describe the three components of a political party. Three components of a political party are: I. The leaders. A political party consists of leaders who contest elections and, if they win them, perform the administrative job. 2. The active members. They are the ones who climb a ladder from being the follower and become the assistants of the leaders to gain knowledge about the politics. 3. The followers. They are simply the ardent followers of the leaders and work under the able guidance of the active members. What is meant by a political party? Describe the three components of a political party. ANS political party is a group of people who come together to contest elections and hold power in the government. Three components of a political party are: I. The leaders. A political party consists of leaders who contest elections and, if they win them, perform the administrative job. 2. The active members. They are the ones who climb a ladder from being the follower and become the assistants of the leaders to gain knowledge about the politics. 3. The followers. They are simply the ardent followers of the leaders and work under the able guidance of the active members. Describe any 5 major functions of political parties. ANS functions of political parties. I. Parties contest elections. 2. They put forward policies and programs. 3. Parties play a decisive role in making laws. 4. Parties form and run government. V. Defeated parties in the election play its role of opposition to the parties in power. 6. Parties shape public opinion. 7. Parties provide people access to government machinery and welfare schemes. Explain 2 functions each of the ruling party as well of the opposition parties. ANS functions of the ruling parties. I. They play a major role in making laws for the country. 2. They form the government and run the country. 3. They recruit leaders, train them and then make ministers to run the government. Functions of the opposition parties. I. They oppose the government by voicing different views. 2. They criticize government for its failure and wrong policies. 3. They mobilize opposition to the government. How do political parties help in shaping public opinion? Explain. ANS role of political parties in shaping public opinion as: I. They raise and highlight issues. 2. They form pressure groups as an extension. 3. They launch movement for the resolution of problems faced by the people. 4. They have lots of members and activists. What are the characteristics of a political party? ANS. I. A political party has members who agree on some policies and programs for the society with a view to promote common good. 2. It seeks to implement the policies by winning popular support through elections. 3. A political party has three components: the leaders, the active members and the followers. 4. A political party is a group of people who come together to contest elections and hold power in the government. What is the role of opposition? What is the function of the opposition party? ANS opposition party is a party which does not win elections in sufficient numbers to form a government, but it keeps an eye on the working of the ruling party and acts as a check on their activities. It keeps a check on their expenditures, brings their failure before the public. It also protects the rights and liberties of the people by not allowing any law to be passed which threatens their fundamental rights. Why is one-party political system not considered a good democratic system? ANS. Because one-party system has no democratic option. Why did India adopt multi-party system? Examine the reason to accept multi-party system in India. ANS India adopted multi-party system because I. India is a large country and has social and geographical diversities. 2. It is easy to absorb different social and geographical diversities in multi-party systems. 3. Quetzales. Name a country that has one-party system. China. What is the party system in the UK? The UK political system is a multi-party system. Describe any three main features of two-party. ANS main features of two-party system. I. Power usually changes between two parties, several other parties may exist. 2. In such system, people get clear choice. 3. The party that wins majority forms the government and the other sits in opposition. 4. Strong opposition is good for democracy. Prompt decisions are taken and implemented. 6. More development and less corruption. What is a multi-party system? Why has India adopted a multi-party system? Multi-party system: if several parties compete for power and more than two parties have a reasonable chance of coming to power either on their own strength or in alliance with others, we call it a multi-party system. India adopted a multi-party system because I. There is social and geographical diversity in India. 2. India is such a large country, which is not easily absorbed by two or three parties. 3. The system allows a variety of interests and opinions to enjoy political representation. 1. Quetzal. What do you understand by the biparty system? Write its one merit and one demerit. ANS biparty system. I. In some countries, power usually changes between two main parties. It is also known as two-party systems. 2. In this system, the government is formed by one party and the other plays the role of opposition. Merit: this system allows stability of government as no coalition is there. Demerit: in this system, only two main parties have a serious chance of winning majority seats to form the government. Merits. I. This system allows a variety of interests and opinions to enjoy political representation. 2. People can make a choice between several candidates. Demerits. I. No one party is likely to gain power alone. Therefore, it leads to difficulty in formation of government. 2. Leads to political instability and often appears to be very messy. Name the alliance formed by the Congress Party. Board Term 2, Set TCJQ 6VD, 2016 ANS United Progressive Alliance, UPA. 1. A2 Quetzales. Which party was the principal opposition party in Lok Sabha in 2004? Board Term 2, Set KCG 34U9, 2016 ANS Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP. 1. A3 Quetzales. What is the guiding philosophy of Bharatiya Janata Party proper? Board Term 2, Outside Delhi Set 2, 2015. ANS, I. Cultural Nationalism. 2. India's Ancient Culture and Values. Any 1, 1/2 times 2 equals 1, 1 mark each. A4 Quetzales. The Bahujan Samaj Party stands for what? Cause. Board Term 2, 2011. ANS Securing the Interest of the Oppressed People. 1U5 Quetzales. What is the requirement laid down by the Election Commission for a political party to be recognized as a state party? Board Term 2, Foreign Set I, 2, 3, 2015. ANS. A party that secures at least 6% of the total votes in an election to the Legislative Assembly of a state and wins at least 2 seats is recognized as a state party. Six Quetzales. Name any one political party that has national-level political organization but not recognized as the national political party. Board Term 2, Delhi Set I, 2, 3, 2016. ANS Samajwadi Party / Samata Party / Rashtriya Janata Dal. Any 1, 1. A7 Quetzales. Name any 2 regional parties of West Bengal. Board Term 2, Delhi Set 3, 2015. ANS. 2 regional parties of West Bengal are I. Marxist Forward Bloc, 2, Trinamool Congress. 1/2 times 2 equals 1. A8 Quetzales. When was the Communist Party of India Marxist, CPIM, formed? ANS. The CPIM was formed at the 7th Congress of the Communist Party of India held in Calcutta from October 31 to November 7, 1964. 1. A9 Quetzales. How many parties are registered with the Election Commission of India? ANS. According to the Commission, as on July 24, there are 1,866 political parties which are registered with it. 1. U10 Quetzales. The BJP formed the government in 1998 as the leader of an alliance. Name the alliance. ANS National Democratic Alliance. 1. U11 Quetzales. When and under whose leadership was Bahujan Samaj Party, BSP, formed? ANS. The Bahujan Samaj Party, BSP, was founded on the birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, i.e., April 14, 1984, by Kangshi Ram. 1. U12 Quetzales. What are the criteria to recognize as a national political party in India? ANS. A party that wins 6% of total votes cast in the elections for Lok Sabha or Assembly elections in 4 states and wins at least 4 seats in the Lok Sabha is called a national party. What is meant by a national political party? State the conditions required to be a national political party. ANS national political parties have units in the various states. They follow the same policies, programs, and strategy that is decided at the national level. Conditions required. I. A party that secures at least 6% of the total votes in general elections of Lok Sabha or assembly elections in 4 states. 2. Wins at least 4 seats in Lok Sabha. 2. Quetzales. Name the national political party which espouses secularism and welfare of weaker sections and minorities. Mention any 4 features of that party. ANS. The national political party, which espouses secularism and welfare of weaker sections and minorities, is the Indian National Congress. 4 features of this party are listed below. I. Founded in 1885. 2. Dominated Indian politics, both at the national and state levels, for several decades after India's independence. 3. Ruling party at the center till 1977 and then from 1980 to 1989. After 1989, its support declined. 4. A centrist party, neither rightist nor leftist, in its ideological orientation. What is a political party? State any 2 points of the ideology of Bharatiya Janata Party. ANS. A political party is a group of people who come together to contest elections and hold power in the government. They agree on some policies and programs for the society with a view to promote the collective good. Ideology of BJP. I. Wants full territorial and political integration of Jammu and Kashmir with India. 2. A uniform civil code for all people living in the country irrespective of religion. 3. Cultural nationalism. Describe about the ideology and organization of Bahujan Samaj Party. ANS Bahujan Samaj Party, BSP, was formed in 1984 under the leadership of Kangshi Ram. Its main aim is that it seeks represent and secure power for the Bahujan Samaj, which includes the Dalits and Adivasis, OBCs and religious minorities. What is meant by regional political party? State the conditions required to be recognized as a regional political party. ANS. A regional party is a party that is present in only some states. Conditions required for a party to be recognized as a regional political party are: I. A party that secures at least 6% of the total votes in an election to the Legislative Assembly of a state. 2. Wins at least 2 seats in the Legislative Assembly. Name any 6 regional political parties of the 4 southern states of India. ANS Tamil Nadu AMK, All India Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, DMK. Andhra Pradesh Telugu Desam, Lok Sabha Kerala Congress, Joseph, Puducherry NRC, All India NR Congress. Name the regional political parties that are predominant in Jharkhand, Maharashtra, and Odisha respectively with their symbols. Jharkhand JMM Jharkhand Mukti Morcha Maharashtra Inc Indian National Congress Odisha BJD Biju Janata Dal. Nearly every one of the state parties wants to get an opportunity to be a part of one or the other national level coalition. Support the statement with arguments. ANS state parties seeking national level coalition, before general election of 2014, in 3 general elections no one national party was able to secure on its own a majority in Lok Sabha. With the result, the national parties were compelled to form alliances with state or regional parties. Since 1996, Nearly every one of the state parties has got an opportunity to be a part of one or the other national-level coalition government. This has contributed to the strengthening of federalism and democracy. State the conditions as laid down by the election commission to recognize a state party and national party. Board term, 2014. ANS. The difference between a state and a national party can be identified as follows. I. In a state party, the party members aim to highlight the regional interests. On the other hand, a national party gives due importance to national interests. 2. A state party can contest in elections only in a particular state, whereas a national party can contest in elections all across the country. 3. Example, BJP and Congress are national parties, whereas Akali Dal and Trinamool Congress are state-level parties. Long answer type questions. 1. Quetzal. What is meant by national parties? State the criteria for recognizing a party as national and state party. ANS democracies that follow a federal system all over the world tend to have two kinds of political parties: parties that are present in only one of the federal units and parties that are present in several or all units of the federation. Those parties, which are countrywide parties, are called national parties. National and state parties, I. A party that secures at least 6% of the total votes in an election to the Legislative Assembly of a state and wins at least 2 seats is recognized as a state party. 2. A party that secures at least 6% of the total votes in Lok Sabha elections or assembly elections in 4 states and wins at least 4 seats in the Lok Sabha is recognized as a national party. Name the national political party which gets inspiration from India's ancient culture and values. Mention 4 features of that party. ANS Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, gets inspiration from India's ancient culture and values. 4 important features. I. Cultural nationalism or Hindutva is an important element in its conception of Indian nationhood and politics. 2. The party wants full territorial and political integration of Jammu and Kashmir with India. 3. A uniform civil code for all people living in the country irrespective of religion and ban on religious conversions. 4. Its support base increased substantially in the 1990s. One Quetzal. If all the decisions of a political party are made by a single family and all other members are neglected, then what challenge is being faced by that party? ANS challenge of dynastic succession. 2 Quetzales. Why do political parties involve partisanship? ANS. Because the parties are a part of the society and thus they involve partisanship. 3 Quetzales. An ____ is a signed document submitted to an officer, where a person makes a sworn statement regarding her personal information. ANS affidavit. 1 Quetzal. Which 3 challenges do you feel are being faced by political parties in India? Give your opinion. ANS. The 3 challenges faced by political parties in India are: I. Lack of internal democracy. 2. Challenge of dynastic succession. 3. Growing role of money and muscle power. 4. Often parties do not seem to offer a meaningful choice to the voters. U2 Quetzales. How do money and muscle power play an important role in elections? ANS money and muscle power play an important role in elections because I. Role of money and muscle power in parties especially during elections is growing. 2. Parties tend to nominate those candidates who have or can raise lots of money. 3. Rich people and companies who give funds to the parties tend to have influence on the policies and decisions of the party. 4. In some cases, parties support criminals who can win election. V. Democrats all over the world are worried over the increasing role of rich people and big companies in democratic politics. 3. Quetzales. What is meant by defection in democracy? Explain. ANSI. Defection in politics means moving of a person from one party to another party for some personal benefit. It means changing party allegiance from the party on which a person got elected to a different party. 2. It happens when a legislature, after having been elected from a particular party, leaves it and joins in other party. 3. The Constitution was amended to prevent elected MLAs and MPs from changing parties. Now the law says that if any MLA and MP changes parties, he or she will lose seat in the legislature. 4. The new law has brought defection down and has made dissent even more difficult. 4. Quetzales. Serious efforts were made by the legal organizations to reform political parties in India. Support the statement. ANS efforts made by the legal organizations to reform political parties in India. I. To check defection, the Constitution was amended to prevent elected MLAs and MPSs from changing parties. 2. The Supreme Court passed an order to reduce the influence of money and criminal, by making it mandatory to produce an affidavit giving details of property and criminal cases pending. 3. The Election Commission passed an order making it necessary for political parties to hold their organizational election and file their income tax returns. Suggests some reforms to strengthen parties so that they perform their functions well. The elimination of flows of political parties seems difficult but not impossible. Justify the statement with suggestions. ANSI. A law should be made to regulate the internal affairs of political parties. 2. It should be mandatory for political parties to give a minimum number of tickets, about 1/3 to the women candidates. 3. There should be state funding of elections. The government should give parties money to support the election expenses. 1. Quetzal. Explain any 4 problem areas in the working of political parties. Explain how political parties are still in the grip of some serious challenges. ANSI. Lack of internal democracy. The first challenge is lack of internal democracy within parties. Concentration of power in one or few leaders at the top. 2. Dynastic succession. Favor people close to them or even their family members. In many parties, the top positions are always controlled by members of one family. 3. Money and muscle power. The third challenge is about growing role of money and muscle power in parties, especially during elections. 4. Meaningful choice. The fourth challenge is that very often parties do not seem to offer a meaningful choice to the voters. Why is there a lack of internal democracy within the political parties in India? Explain with examples. ANS. There are various reasons for lack of democracy within the political parties in India. I. Concentration of power in one or few leaders at the top. 2. Details of membership are not registered in the parties. 3. No organizational meetings. 4. No internal elections for membership within the party. V. Top leaders have unanimous power of decision-making. Examine any 2 institutional amendments made by different institutions to reform political and their leaders. Elucidate some of the recent efforts taken in our country to reform political parties and its leaders. 3. Quetzales. Examine any two institutional amendments made by different institutions to reform political and their leaders. Elucidate some of the recent efforts taken in our country to reform political parties and its leaders. I. The Constitution was amended to prevent elected MLAs and MPs from changing parties. This was done because many elected representatives were indulging in defection in order to become ministers or for cash rewards. Now, if any MLA or MP changes parties, he or she will lose the seat in the legislature. 2. The Supreme Court passed an order to reduce the influence of money and criminals. Now, it is mandatory for every candidate who contests elections to file an affidavit giving details of his property and criminal cases pending against him. The new system has made a lot of information available to the public. But there is no system of check if the information given by the candidates is true. 3. The Election Commission passed an order making it necessary for political parties to hold their organizational elections and file their income tax returns. 4. The parties have started doing so, but sometimes it is mere formality. It is not clear if this step has led to greater internal democracy in political parties. 4. Quetzales. Suggest and explain any 5 measures to reform political parties. Suggest any 5 effective measures to reform political parties. Effective measures to reform political parties are: I. A law should be made to regulate the internal affairs of political parties. 2. It should be made compulsory for political parties to maintain a register of its members. 3. It should be made mandatory for political parties to give a minimum number of tickets, about 1/3 to its women candidates. 4. There should be a quota for women in the decision-making bodies of the party. There should be state funding of elections. 6. The government should give parties money to support their election expenses in kind, for example petrol, paper, telephone, etc., or in cash. 7. Vote casting should be made compulsory in each election. 8. Data regarding caste and religion, OBC, SC, ST should not be utilized during election period in any form.